Mike, what you up to today? Today, I'm tilling the garden, getting the rows all fixed up, and I'm going to use my two-wheel hoe and make furrows in the ground to lay the drip tape. So I'm going to show you how I do the drip tape after I get these rows all tilled and the furrows cut in there. But first, I want to take you down and show you what I've done so far. I did do some tilling already. I think I've tilled 4 rows. And I'm getting ready to till a couple more rows, the last 3, I think 3 or 4 rows, because when I filled up the raised bed, I really smashed the ground down pretty tight. So I went ahead and I got Dad's tiller, and I'm gonna go ahead and till that up and get it fluffy so we can plant in that again. So I went ahead and just did the whole garden. But anyway, I'm gonna take you down here. I'm gonna show you what the truck did to the garden, and then we'll till it. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that soil. Okay, everyone, it's going to be windy out here, so you're going to hear a lot of wind noise, I'm afraid, in the microphone. So this is what I've done thus far. I've got 4 rows tilled up, and there at the 5th row, the tiller's ready to work. But as you can see in that soil, the track marks, it's really smashed down. So I'm going to go ahead and till the last 3 rows. And this row that I'm getting ready to till right now, I think I'm going to put potatoes in there. So I'm going to shovel a lot of sand into this row and probably put, well, I know I'm going to put some peat moss in there also. That sand, there's quite a bit of sand there, so I may spread it to the other 2 rows here on the end as well. We'll see how that goes. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and till the last 3 rows, and we'll go ahead and shovel some of that sand in there. Okay, now let's add this sand to this row. I'm gonna add a lot of sand, so when I'm done adding this sand, I'm gonna till it in. Okay, I think that's all the sand I'm going to add to this row. I'm going to go ahead and tilt this in, and then we'll go ahead and add possibly a bag of peat moss. Looks pretty good. I added the sand because I do live in South Carolina, and where I live there's quite a bit of clay in the soil, so this should help out quite a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and put that 2 cubic, I think it's cubic feet of peat moss. I'm gonna go ahead and add that on this row as well. Okay, let's cut this peat moss open and get it on the row. Now this bag is light, I'll move it up here to the top of the garden and pour the rest out. Break up these chunks. Okay, let's till this in and see how this soil really looks. I think the potatoes are going to love it. This stuff here is really good. I'm glad I did that. Since I have so much sand left over, I have one more bag of that peat moss. I'm gonna go ahead and add it to one more row. So I'm gonna cut from here. It's gonna be the same process on the last 2 rows. I'm just gonna do what you just saw me do, and then at the end I'll show you everything complete. Okay, everybody. I am done tilling up the rows, adding the sand and the peat moss in these first 3 rows here. The first row did not get any peat moss, but the next 2 did. So all 3 got sand. Second and third got sand and peat moss, and the others were just tilled. But that is the complete job of preparing those rows. Now we need to place some drip. So I'm going to show you how I place my drip and how I use it. Okay, now we're back. We're going to get ready to put down some drip for the plants I'll be planting, some of them this weekend, hopefully. So I'm going to get ready. I'm going to put my drip down. Some of the things I'm going to use, of course, is going to be some drip. And I'm going to use the Haas 2-wheel hoe to make the furrows. And what I do is I've been burying the drip. It works real well. I have in the past just put it on top of the ground, but I'm always having to move it to weed, and it's always moving around, and it got to be a pain. So I really like the idea of burying it. I got that idea from Haas Tools. That's what those guys over there do. They bury their drip, and that's a great, brilliant idea. And that's what I've been doing. I've been following what they've been doing. So next we're going to go over to the garden. I'm going to show you how I use this 2-wheel hoe to make my furrows, and we'll take it from there. Okay, in this first row, I plan to plant my cherry tomatoes. I'm going to trellis those, of course. So when I furrow, when I lay this drip, in the past I've made the mistake of not really digging down deep with these furrows and really going deep. If you don't really go deep, for some reason, you may hit it with a weeding implement, and I've done that. So I really try to concentrate on really digging down, pushing on the back of these handles and getting these furrows really deep in the ground. Really bury those things. Just like that. You want a really deep furrow. That way when you do any weeding with your stirrup hoe, you won't hit it. And it really works out well. Your drip stays in place. Okay, now that we have our furrow made, we need to punch a hole in our header here. So we just take the punch tool, pop it in, take our drip. Now your emitters, you need to have those pointing up. Don't forget to point those up, and they're marked. Which side is the emitter side? It's got a line on there. There's some yellow lines, and you'll see some little emitters. There's some holes. So make sure when you put this in here in your furrow, just make sure your emitters are up. Take it, pop it in, that's all there is to it. Okay, now that I have the drip in the furrow, we're going to take a quick look at it. I have it really deep. Don't be shy, get it down in that ground, trust me. You don't want it to come up or hit it with something, with a hoe or something. I'm gonna go ahead and do probably 3 more rows, and then I'll show you what I've done. Okay, I have all the drip in the furrows. The drip is facing up, and I placed it in 4 beds. 2 down here. This one is the first one. Again, it's going to be the cherry tomatoes. The second one's going to be cucumbers. Third's going to be potatoes, which I'm not going to put them on drip. This 4th one here, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to put some tomatoes in there, but I'm not sure which ones. And there might be some tomatoes going this next one as well. But these 2 on the end are going to be peppers. Peppers are, they'll be ready to go in the ground this weekend. So that's why I went ahead and put the drip in for those. The other 2 rows over here, I'm not real sure what I'm going to do here yet. But I'm sure I'll put drip there somewhere. But anyway, the drip's in. Now, last year when I did this, I went ahead and buried it, which was a mistake. Because guess what? I had leaks. Like I said before, I reused my drip. So from season to season, you could have some issues with your drip. So if you want to reuse it, you want to make sure that it doesn't leak. So before burying it, I would suggest charging the lines, make sure there's no leaks, and if there is, you can fix them. Because last year I had a leak and it was a big mess. And I wish I would have checked them before I buried them. So I have a garden hose hooked up to it. I'm gonna go up there, we're gonna turn it on, we're gonna see if we have any leaks. Okay, I just turned on the water, walking down to the garden, and you'll know right away if you have a leak. It's not a matter of minutes. You're gonna know right away. I don't see any leaks on my drip. Good, those 2 rows look good. These look great. I see 2 leaks, but they're from dummy plugs that I used last year that I plugged. So I've got 2, maybe 3 dummy plugs up here that are leaking. So I'm gonna have to fix those. Okay, the dummy plugs are leaking. This one right here and one right there. So I'm gonna pull those plugs out, and I've got what's called rescue tape. So I'm gonna see if that works out for us. So I'm gonna pull those plugs, wrap those with a rescue tape, and see if that'll seal up my header line. Okay, rescue tape's been applied to both areas. Let's go turn on the water and see if it holds. Well, the rescue tape's not all that great. I still have some leaks. They're slowed down. Maybe I'll just add some more, but I have one more over here that I'm gonna have to go fix. So, get some more rescue tape. Okay guys, I wrapped more rescue tape around the header. I don't know, I'm not really impressed with this stuff. It says it's rated 500 pounds. My header line only has max 25 pounds of pressure. So, it's either I don't know what I'm doing, I'm wrapping it, or this stuff is crap. Okay. I think I got the leak stopped. What I did was I took that rescue tape and I stretched it as hard as I could. I mean, I pulled that stuff really tight. I guess that's how you're supposed to do it. But I don't see any leaks right now, so everything looks good. Here, I'll turn the camera around so you can see what I'm doing. Here it is. Looks good. I don't see any drips, nothing. So we're in business. Thought I was gonna have to replace that header line, but the drip looks all good. No leaks anywhere. So what I'm gonna do is go up here and turn off my water, and I'll get my rake and I'll just cover that drip up, and I'll come back and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, that's it. Now I just need to cover the garden back up until I'm ready to plant. Thanks for watching.